Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the prison role-playing game stream. So let me go back to here. Let me jump over to the main screen and welcome. So where have I been with the prison game? Well, let's jump straight in and show you what's happening. But as you can see, brand new MetaHuman characters and also parametric MetaHumans. So these don't mind the white shirt clipping through the shirt, clipping through the orange overalls. I just realized that. So I've got to change out the outfits, but these are parametric clothing, meaning they fit on any MetaHuman character, no matter how tall they are or how fat they are and stuff like that. So this is just one of the characters, and I've actually made what I've done is let me just quickly. I've made 4 different races. So I've gone with Asian, Black, Hispanic, and White, and I've got two MetaHuman presets for each race. So and I've only done male so far because it takes ages to assemble these characters and build them and all that type of stuff and get the right meshes. But what we're going to be working on today is building the character modular system where you can, well, practically like a main menu, but a main menu that's going to exist in the world. So instead of going from this level to another level and then back to this level, like to the main menu, the main menu is going to consist of joining servers and creating servers. And then once you join a server, you would join the server. However, I'm going to create it's like a menu, like a main menu, where it's going to be this. If you've seen the interrogation room down here, we actually moved it down here, but the interrogation room, I can't actually go in there. But the interrogation room has got, we're going to use the interrogation room as a main menu. And that's what we're going to be doing today. But let me show you some other things. If you haven't seen the last couple of streams, we've actually got a lot more detail now with this map. So this is a brand new map, and if you've been watching from the Game Dev and Chill streams, this is a brand new rebuild. We're sort of rebuilding the prison game, but much better. But as you can see, we've got a much more detailed showers now. Let me go down here. So now we've got shoes which actually go down, and we've got like a little maintenance door up here. This is our first maintenance door. We're yet to do maintenance and sewer sections and like escape routes and all that type of stuff. But this is where we are so far. So we've got our cells. We've also got a commissary. If you haven't seen, this is something we've got to fix. See how this doesn't work? I think this is just because it's not line trace is not set to complex. But we've got an NPC now. But let me see if I can open up this. So we've got a store now where you can buy stuff. We've also got an inventory, and the as you can see, oh shit, sorry. Okay, that is meant to open up the main menu, but it doesn't so far. But it's a modular widget system, so everything's much better. I think we're even getting better stats too. 50, 60 on multi-streaming. I'll see that up to about 80 frames a second when I'm not streaming. But we've also got a medical room. This is where our NPC nurse is going to be. Everything looks much more detailed now, but that's what, let me show you what type of metahumans we got going. So we've got so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 races with 2 presets per race. And also I've only done male metahumans because these take for ages to build, because what I've got to do is got to build a naked body and then a dressed body, and then we've got to build the clothing. And and this is what I mean by parametric. See this guy, he's much bigger. His clothing's bigger. You know what I mean? So, but there's an issue. Actually, there's an issue with this white shirt because that's separate. It's sticking through, and it shouldn't be sticking through, and that will actually, we'll have to rebuild the UV masks and stuff like that. So we've got this guy. Let's start opening this and start looking at some of these guys. So this is the first Asian. Second Asian guy. These are just presets too. I don't want to try and make my own MetaHuman, not yet anyway. But these presets are really highly detailed and stuff. So this is the guy I'm using now. I like his hair. It's like it just bounces around everywhere, like fully realistic hair type of thing. There's that guy, and then there's another one. This guy, I don't know if this guy, if he's like, yeah, I think he's like, I don't know if he was like maybe like a Brazilian or something. Because depending on their name, and then we've got this guy, he's the first Hispanic guy, this guy here. So as you can see, not all the same size, but the clothing fits accordingly. Then you got this guy, he's a pretty famous preset there. We've got two of these guys. This guy looks a little bit like what's it called? Red Dead Redemption 2 there. Bit of Red Dead Redemption there, mate. And then this guy. And it takes ages to build all these models and stuff. But as you can see, we've got naked bodies and dressed bodies. So that's how we're going to do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to this is the room we're going to have. So the camera will be here and you'll be standing here, and this is where you select a prisoner. And then if you change to a CO, it will move, the camera will move back and you'll be standing in front of the desk, and you'll switch between. That's the idea anyway. And because this is one big level instance, oh shit, I can actually, yeah, I can do this without, I can just use the level instance. So let me duplicate this. And then we're going to call this underscore menu room. Hopefully that jumps up to the top. No, it doesn't. Interesting. We'll just do that. Level instance menu room, and then this maybe plus this will be our menu room. And I want to have it, and the reason I'm putting it in the same world is because of dedicated servers. To have dedicated servers, you can't be jumping between levels. You can jump from the main menu like to join a server, but once you're in a server, in a level, you can't, like players can't be jumping from level to level. So I need the main menu to be inside the persistent level. So that's the reason for that. But that's interesting. I want to uncheck. Oh shit. Okay. Interesting. Interrogations, menu room. Okay. Duplicate. Menu room. Okay, there we go. Oh, interesting. You know what? We'll just use that backdrop. So I don't have to like have blueprints here. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's gonna work. So how high are we? What type of? Okay, interesting. Maybe I can just zero this out. Zero it out, boom. Why is the zero there? But anyway, okay. Let's give it like a 10,000. That's high enough. Wait, I think the maximum distance 5, so 5 is twice the draw distance. So this will be like, everything will be completely unloaded. I might consider putting some of these blueprints inside a level instance on top of the the pack level actors. What? Why is the what the fuck? Oh, okay. Okay. Menu. Shit. Menu room. Why is where's the lights? Oopsie daisy. What the fuck? Okay. What happened to the lighting? Okay, all the lights went to the center. Okay. Yeah. Let's just go like this. Like this. And then like this. High as we can. Let's go about there. Alright. There it is. This is our backdrop. I feel like fuck. Shit. I feel like I'm missing some. Okay. There they are. Okay, let's try and work this out. So move this over 50 maybe. Bang, bang. 100. Shout out to the two watching on YouTube. We'll just go one, click that way. Bang, bang. Then we'll sort it out later. We'll move it maybe another 50. Jump in the comments, guys. So then I can see if the comments are working. They should be. They're working last time. Okay. Just so it's just so we got lighting in here, obviously. We probably don't need this back room here. We can probably get away with that. I mean, the less lights, the better. We don't need anything in this room. All we need is that backdrop, which would be like here. Okay. So even if this changes, this will update. So it doesn't matter. We just need a room for the main menu. And there's the menu room. Okay. Cell blocks, hallways, shoes, menu room. Okay. Okay. So now what I want to do is just a quick bit rebuild. It only takes a couple minutes. So that's just, I don't know why. I always get errors when I try and rebuild the thing. So I have to delete this to get rid of those errors. If anyone knows what's happening there and would like to let me know, that'd be great. But we can go here. We can just quickly build all this stuff. So then we've got fresh lighting. And then we just need to make a menu character. It's going to be a lot easier. to have a separate character. This way the game mode doesn't need to change, all this type of shit. All that happens is you spawn here. As soon as you join a server, you spawn here. You choose if you want to be a prisoner or an inmate. You'll be able to modify your prisoner. You can't really change clothes at the moment, but hopefully I'm going to add changing hairstyle, changing facial hair, potentially tattoos. But the facial hair and all that type of stuff can work. And you sort of, and if you say you're a prisoner and there's not enough COs and you want to become a CO just so you know that the game can keep going, which is very common in these type of games, it needs to happen very quickly. You know what I mean? So, and because it's in the persistent world, all that's happening is you're just spawning here. So as soon as you click on the main menu, bang, you're straight there, boom, and you'll be able to choose whatever, boom, and then spawn back into the world accordingly. So, you know, you like, so you say you choose to be an inmate, you'll spawn in the cells. You'll spawn in a cell somewhere. But if you're a CO, you'll spawn in a CO, and then you can just switch that way. So the character creation and selection is happening in the same world. It mainly because it's dedicated. It's a limitation with dedicated servers. You can't have multiple. You can't have players jumping between levels. It just doesn't work. It's either the level is the restriction, or maybe just the game mode. They can't have multiple game modes. But see, the main menu can be a different level. You know, when you're, you know, joining servers, creating servers. But the actual server level needs to be like consistent. It'd be good if you could jump from level to level. That's what just makes that a little bit extra harder, multiplayer games. You know what I mean? But that's not too much of a restriction. There's going to be listen servers as a fallback. There's going to be dedicated servers and a listen server structure fallback. So if there's no dedicated servers, you can just run listen servers. And I believe, I hope, I strongly believe this type of game could run in a listen server format, because that's what those types of games are meant for. Not super massive open worlds and stuff like that. So we're half built here, just so we can get this built. We'll start. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to put all the MetaHuman data into a data table, and then we're going to make a system, or maybe a component that we can attach to the menu character and the player, where they can where you can just have one master MetaHuman, and you can just choose any character you want, type of thing. But yeah, it's going to start with like, you're going to start with like a predominant one, which would be A. A is the first. Asian one would be the first one. So you'll start with him, and then you can choose your gender. Not yet, anyway. I've got to make all the female ones, but right now we're going to build everything around the males, and females could theoretically just be added at the end. It's just like an extension of the male. They'll have different idols, different running animations, maybe a couple different other animations, but the majority of the animations can be the same, like shooting animations. They cannot be different. They cannot be like super different, because then there'll be a disadvantage. One of the genders would be at a disadvantage. So the shooting animations, all that type of stuff needs to be the same. But, you know, idling and running and walking can change to female. So that can be done later on. But right now we're just trying to build the structure. And we've also got to make it so... What the fuck is that so blurry for? Let's maybe just reopen this. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Let's make sure that's it. All right. Okay. What do you reckon of the new thumbnails, guys? Trying to do better content, better thumbnails. But there's pretty much two different streams now. There's the prison streams, and you know, when I get bored of the prison game, I'll work on the character, but mainly on the prison game. with random tutorials and courses that I can think of, you know, what the fuck's going on here, man? Why is this so blurry, bro? And this is so blurry too. What the fuck's the go here? Okay, let's maybe rebuild that. I know the problem. I've cleaned out the project. I know the problem. Save. We need to, uh, what's it called? What happened? We need to just reinstall that one at the bare minimum. Or at least the two. I'll just reinstall 3 different assets because police. We've got police department. And then we got police. Yeah, there's just 3 different ones I should add. Police department, the other police department, and then the modular sewer. Well, this is the only one tripping out right now, so we'll just do this one. Sorry, guys. This is just a little bit of thing we need to just wait around for. Shouldn't take that long. 6 megabytes a second. I'm not surprised since we're multi-streaming on 3 different platforms. But anyway, shout out to the one watching on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Consider subscribing. But oh wow, look at the stream. Oh, you can't see it. The stream's stressing big time with this. Yeah, the stream might be chopping up a little bit. I don't know. Sorry if it is. All right. You know what? Give me 1 minute. Just give me a couple minutes. I'll be back. This should be done by then. But let me just quickly jump over here. Alright, we're back. We're almost done. Okay, this should fix all that. Anyway, yes. A couple of things, it doesn't matter. Alright, I just want a backdrop for the main menu. Which if does change, mesh-wise, it will update. Yeah. What's going on here, man? Okay. Let's... Oh, shit. Wrong one. Let's maybe go in-game and see what's happening. And these are like the personal lockers for the staff. No, not here. And I'm not a CEO yet because that logic is not built in yet. I'm rebuilding the characters, obviously. But I'm hoping this thing would just like will fix itself, maybe? This looks super like interrogation-y. I love this room. That light just tops it off. What the fuck's going on here, bro? Why? Why? Blurry textures. And the fucking, this whole thing's been moved or something. Okay, the light's fucked on it. Interesting. Oh, fuck me, dude. They moved up 10 for some reason. And you know what? Let's forget about this blurry fucking mesh for some reason. I'm trying to find this thing. I think it's in here for some stupid reason. Oh no. Height chart. What the fuck, bro? It's the texture's 128. What? What the fuck? Okay, who cares about that right now? We'll fix that up later. what we want is a new menu character. BP menu character. Ready. Minus 87, I think it is. Minus 90. Paste. That is the body, by the looks of it. Been following you making this game for a few months. It looks better each time I catch a live. Thanks, man. Body. Head, face. Body gets attached to that. Face gets attached to that. These can be the clothing. Yeah, it's the clothing. I need to fix up the white shirt. Like, for starters, I've only masked out the arm, like the wrist. I think I have to remove the wrist and just have the hands. For that one, anyway. But it's clipping through the back here for some reason. So I need to change this to just the small one. Thanks for the follow. Deal Mixto 7, mate. Welcome to the stream. How you doing, mate? Welcome. Alright, so there's that. Clothing. Face. Groom. Oh, goodness gracious. Into the face. Okay. What's this? That is the eyebrows. Eyebrows. Eyelashes. Eyelashes. WSP, what's your game about? It's a multiplayer driven prison role-playing game, similar to how 5M prison roleplay, similar to how 5M works, the whole concept of the roleplay from there, but just trying to just, as far as I'm aware, be one of the first people to replicate this stuff, but in an actual game. Well, to sort of build a game around that concept, this is the hair, obviously. These are the ones I need to work out. So this one, the beard, which he doesn't have here. So this is beard. Damn, that's ambitious. It's really very simple. I've been doing it for. I come from San Andreas Multiplayer, which is the old school GTA San Andreas, and I've been developing servers on that. I've got a pretty known gamer tag there, alias Weponz, for over 14 years. I've been programming for over 15 years now. I've been doing this anyway, just in GTA, and to be honest, it's actually fairly simple. This type of game. All it is interactions and montages, which is very easy to replicate, and voice chat, and people just play their roles. You know, each prisoner can, like, I'm literally building the game exactly how I'd build it in 5M, but just doing it in Unreal Engine. That's the concept. But mustache. This goes into the face. Simple. You have to do gun menus, anti-cheat, and no gun menus. All there is a taser and a shank, and I've already built that system. This is all really simple stuff, man. For me, anyway. I'm a seasoned programmer. I've only been doing Unreal Engine for about 3 years now. I started in early 2023, but I've learnt a lot since then, and I'm fairly confident with everything. So I seem to be getting shit done. What's my language? I'm Australian. Okay, so there we go. There's our standard MetaHuman. This and this can be zeroed out. Oh, oopsie daisy. What happened there? Oh, this is going to be on the body. Go like that. Then we can go like this. This can be the set leader to the mesh. Boom. I never used Unreal Engine 5. I just heard a lot of people hating so hard on it. Well, to be honest, it's the best engine the public has access to. So you can hate it as much as you want. It's just very easy to create unoptimized stuff in Unreal Engine. Very fucking easy. That's all the problem is. Like, you know, and if you're trying to make a massive fucking open world, that's hard enough in itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's simple games. Like, it's the best engine. It's got the best assets. Because I'm a programmer. I can't for the life of me make an animation or a 3D model, so I need to use assets, and they got the best assets. Like but it depends on what type of game you want to make. If you want to make a 2D game, you use Unity, but if you want to make a 3D game, you use Unreal. UIN. What programming language are you doing the logic? Well, at the back end it's C++, but this is called Blueprints. This is the logic here. Blueprints. Let me show you just like an example of like, see, I'm sort of compartmental. I'm sort of like organizing all my code. So like, you know, we've got alerts, we've got camera logic, we've got class logic, currency logic. Let's go into like the inventory system, right? You know, we've got add inventory. It's just nodes like this, where you're essentially coding with nodes. So you are a C++. No, I'm not a C++ dev. I haven't jumped into C++ yet. And thankfully, Unreal Engine 6 is actually coming out with a language called Verse, which is so much more light-end and lightweight than C++. Because I come from a C# background. I was scripting with Pawn for over 14 years, which is like it's like C#, but it's a C-based typeless scripting language. So C++ was very hard on the eyes for me, and I've been putting off C++ until I get more confident with building a game with blueprints. So, but it looks like that I don't have to learn C++. All I need to do is wait till Verse comes out and learn that, and that looks like something like low end as Lua or JavaScript, and I could learn that language in days. I believe I would learn Verse within a couple of days. I'll be doing everything in Verse straight away. Bang. I can't wait for it. It's so easy on my eyes. Like and it looks that lightweight that anybody could code with it. I think they already use it for the Unreal Engine Fortnite editor thing to program gaming logic, which is fucking the best thing they can do. Everyone's freaking out. Oh, blueprints. But blueprints aren't getting removed straight away. They're getting deprecated. When things get deprecated in big things like an engine like this, they don't remove it straight away. So the blueprints are still going to be here. They're going to have conversion tools to convert over to Verse, or you can just subscribe to this channel and fucking I'll teach you Verse. Oh, I see. That's actually amazing. In other stream, I saw a dude learning C++ and Japanese at the same time. Whoa. I'd argue learning a programming language is like learning a different language like that. It's like learning Japanese. And that's the thing, you can learn one language, but as soon as you need to use a different language, and you've got no experience in it, you need to learn a whole new fucking language. But usually, once you become seasoned, you can learn it within a couple of hours or days or months or whatever. So are you doing like a realistic day in the life of a prisoner? No, it's strictly multiplayer driven. You can be either a prisoner or a CO, and they're players with voice chat. And essentially what's going to happen is the prisoners are going to be escaping custody, going through sewers and engine rooms and all this to get to restricted sides of the prisons, to get to certain NPC workers where they can buy contraband off, and then they can get drug connections and, get drugs from the sewer and then sell it back to the NPC. So that's how they're going to be making their money. Or they can just do legitimate jobs like packing in the warehouse or and stuff like that. We've already done all this logic in the last build. Go check out the Game Dev and Chill streams. There's plenty of those streams. This is like a rebuild of the game, but in a much better way. So, all right, we got sidetracked. This is what I'm trying to worry about right now, is this guy. Not this guy. This guy. Boom. Now we can go here. Go to visible. Bang, bang, boom. There's our MetaHuman. And we should be able to swap that shit out like this. So we can go worker. He's black one worker. Bang. What's going on here? Okay. Bang. Why isn't this stuff being removed? Interesting. Clear. All right, that's been cleared. That's been cleared. I hate when that happens, man. You copy it over and it doesn't want to fucking work. Menu, there he is. There he is. There he is. Okay. Clothing. Body. Dressed. Okay. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Worker. There we go. Now it's cooperating. Dressed. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it's working. But what I want to do actually is just test this guy with worker clothes so I can see if this needs to be fixed. So clothing, worker. Boom. Let's just quickly spawn as this guy. I don't agree with that on the fact that you have to understand dynamic memory, pointers, etc. I mean, eventually, you know what I mean? But see, it's all part of the programming logic. It's specifically what you're learning. You know what I mean? Like, my message got banned for some reason. No, I just didn't see it until now. In that message, I didn't read it fully. So, are you going to do a realistic day in the life of a prisoner, such as being able to join a gang? Yeah, join gangs. I'm thinking about having like different races where there's like default gangs. You know what I mean? Or different sides of the prison. Maybe there's 4 different races, 4 different crews you can join, or maybe like I don't know. I haven't thought about that stuff yet. But yeah, definitely all that type of stuff. Everything that would be in a prison role-playing game in 5M. Go and watch one of those servers. They're very popular. Pretty much literally the same shit. Are you streaming in Toho platform? No, I'm streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. But I just want to spawn as this guy. I think there's a tiny little, yeah, it is. Fucking. And it's the mask. Wait, is this guy got the right? No, this is the wrong one. This is the one we want. See these little dots? These are just things missing on the UV mask, which I wouldn't know how to fix. But hopefully you can't see them. Okay, so now this should be clip proof, like clipping free. There should be no clipping whatsoever. Okay, nice. There's no more clipping. Okay, there's that one. That's good. So that's good. Let's change this to an officer. Now let's see how he looks now. No clipping. Fuck yeah. Very nice. So obviously, you know, you can change from prisoner to CO at any stage. You know what I mean? Like, because that's very typical for games like this, especially in like a team deathmatch. If there's not, if say there's everyone's a prisoner and there's no COs, you know, someone might volunteer to become a CO just so they can keep the game going with two different classes. What the fuck? I just died of hunger. What the fuck? All right. You saw the banned message. What's the banned message? You don't agree with what fucking language you have to understand dynamic memory. Yeah, well, you also have to eventually understand client side and server side. But go and code 5M. You'll learn that real quick. You know what I mean? But I come from a background where there was no server side and client side logic. Imagine, and that's why San Andreas Multiplayer was a fucking hacking haven. But let me show you, let's have a little test, all right? Let's have a little tiny test and see if you can understand or maybe you can test my understanding. Let me let's do a little bit of coding. This is going to be very, very brief, but get player money. Okay, this is a function, or no, give player money. Give player money. All right, this is a function in San Andreas Multiplayer. All right, you give the player ID, let's say $100, like that. How would you? There is no server and no client side logic. Okay, how would you prevent people from being able to hack this? All right, and the way that they're able to hack money is that this function is executing the same code that is within your game on your PC. So the hacker essentially executes the same piece of code within the engine of the game, GTA San Andreas. All right, but see, so that means they can easily hack very easily. All right, so how would you use your own server-side logic to make it impossible for them to hack? What would you do? Taking into account this is an integer, okay? It really doesn't matter what this value is, but it's an integer. What would you do to prevent, like, to do an anti-cheat, essentially, to prevent them from hacking? Let go. Do you want to have a try, D or Mixto, or do you want me to just explain it? Let's see if you understand programming. Let's see if you understand replication, or at least server-side and client-side logic. Not accepting client stuff. Not accepting client stuff. Okay, whatever. Well, anyway, this is an integer, okay? So the script executes this function. Let's just say it executes the code. This executes the code within the game to give the player some money. So the hacker can use any other program to execute the exact same code to therefore have their own give player money. Okay, so what you do, right, is you extend this function now. So what you do is you create your own server-side logic. So what I'll do is I'll create a new function. It'll be stock get give player money, player ID, amount. All right, this is the function. This is written in pawn. It's very exaggerated. Okay, so here we go. I mean, the server not accepting functions from the client side, but there's no client and server side logic whatsoever. You need to create your own. All right, so what I'll do is I'd create a function and extend this, right? So I'd grab this and I'd create a function called give player money EX. Okay, this is very, very typical stuff of how we do anti-cheats in San Andreas. So what I'd do is I'd now create a global variable. All right, it'd be new money max players, which is 500, a value of 500, and money like this. Okay, I'd put the function here, I'd return the function, and then I'd return the value of money, which will be a new, let me just fix this indentation. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the indentation in pawn. Okay, so I'd create a new variable. So new money. There's the integer. I go like this. Shit. See, I've got to do this inside fucking... I've got to do this inside an actual code. I think I still got it here. Hopefully I've got San Andreas Multiplayer. I don't. And I haven't even got Sublime. Shit. Maybe this will help me code better. It's just the indentation. For fuck's sakes. Okay, there we go. New money. I go like this. So what's happening is when they spawn, you set this to 0. Okay, it's like this. When they spawn, you set it to 0, and then when you give them money, you set the value. Okay, so this would be player ID, their money, and then you go plus equals, and then we can go amount like this. So now I know what their money is, right? You get this. Now I know what their money is. And then when I set this, now the server knows how much money the player's got. So every time the player gives some money, you can do a minus here to remove money. So this will be giving and taking money, giving and taking money. But now the server knows what this is. So what you do is now you run a timer, oh, it'll be a public anti-cheat player ID. Well, this will be more of a, it'll be more of a global function like this. Now I can go for new I equals 0. I is more, less or equal, I believe, to max players. And then we plus the I, and then we can go into our loop. Fuck me dead. Okay, and then we can check each player, whatever we can do. We do our checks if they're alive, if they're if they're connected and shit. You know, do our loop, check their money. But then we do it. But then there's another function, obviously, get player money. So then we can compare their money. So then we can go if get player money does not equal that, they've manipulated the code within their game to change their money value. And then all you do to be a cheeky cunt is just go set player money I money. So bang. You've just made it impossible to cheat. So as soon as they cheat, doesn't matter what value it changes to, it resets to whatever the server knows the money is. Bang, you've just created not only an anti-money cheat, you've just created server-side logic. So anyone that knows anything about multiplayer games would know this by default. This will be written into your DNA because this is literally just how things work. But there you go. You've just created your own anti-cheat. So I don't know. We just jumped into that. It's like, see, that's what. It's a very, what, I don't even know what the word is to say that, you know, you got to learn all these different things. Well, fucking, you got to learn, you got to learn everything about, you know, games. And if you've even looked into multiplayer games or worked with multiplayer games, you should know that. That's simple server-side logic. You've just created your own server-side logic where it doesn't exist. But anyway, there we go. Sorry for the slow indentation shit, but all right. So these are all good. I just need to change these clothing. I just need to change the things. But let's go back to our menu. Okay, now we've got our menu character. There's no camera, obviously. I think we'll attach it to here. Spring arm. I think you can't attach it to that? That's ridiculous. I feel that's going to be where we would... No, we'll go 150. I think that's going to be good. So now what we need to do is we need to change this whole thing to spawn us here. Are we... Yep. I would need to put a specific player start here. But yeah, what I've done now with the anti-cheat, that's literally how fucking anti-cheats work. You know, a famous pirate software way of detecting like a cheater is, you know, determining how, you know, cheaters manipulate games, right? To, like, if cheaters can do a specific thing that only cheaters can do, you can try and trap them in those types of things. Like, for instance, pirate software put a fucking wall in a certain situation where only cheaters would have impacted the wall, and it caught heaps of cheaters that way. That's literally what you got to do. And it's like a cat and mouse game. There's no one anti-cheat fixes everything. Fucking, like, you know, like hacking's like never going to be a thing again. That's impossible. It's you just gotta be smart with that type of stuff. Let's do the 180 on that. Put the tag here. We'll call this the menu. And now what I want to happen, interesting. Shit. That's the best way to code it, because the game has to wait to run that function again when warning the hacker. It was a timer. Runs every second. Every second you're checking the players if they're cheating. At least that's what we were doing. It's a timer. You just run it every time. And because the only time you want the player's money to change is when the script changes it. You know what I mean? I didn't saw the timer. Well, the bottom code was a timer. You know, the loop. The loop was the timer. The loop was looping through the players. So everyone's getting checked. Yeah, everyone's money's stored and everyone's money's getting checked. And every time you update it, because you created a new function, it now updates the variable. And therefore, the server now knows exactly how much money you can legally have. So if you change it on your end, doesn't matter how you fucking do it, it's not going to be the same as the variable, the server side variable. So therefore, hacked, bang, reset, kick, ban, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. This is fucking. We're just gonna have to. Shit. Fuck. Spawning menu of the player controller, the character to spawn. Unpossess. Oh wait, no. He's controlled. So if they've got a controlled pawn, which they would have if they respawn from the level back into the menu, so therefore we have to destroy that pawn and then spawn him as a menu character. Oh, and this is the logic we want. Menu. And we just need to just spawn. Now spawn the menu, spawn actor from class. Menu. That transform. And that's all that should really matter. All right. Oh, the controller, interesting. Oh, that it is going to be that controller. Okay. Custom SRV spawn in menu. Because the client, because we're on the controller, we now need to spawn on the server or it won't work. Spawn in menu, which would be spawn in menu. And they don't technically get spawned until they're actually spawned at the actual player. So this is spawn in menu. There we go, bang. And of course we need the controller. We go visit Balzinga right here. Self. So spawn in menu. SRV spawn in menu. So basically what you're doing is checking if the money of the client is the same as the server one, and if not, you are forcing to change it on the server one. Yes. So in a second, it changes back to what it's meant to be. So they can't hack. It's impossible. Literally impossible to hack money. You can do the same thing with air braking or teleporting. Just check their fucking their position every couple of seconds, and if it's moved a very great distance, like say you're running, you're sprinting as a character, there's no way you're going to move more than 30 meters in a second, right? Say that's like the threshold that you put. A hacker's going to breach that threshold instantaneously if they start air braking and all that type of stuff. So and it's impossible for the player to move that fast. You know what I mean? If they're on foot, so therefore that you detected an air brake. You know what I mean? And if they keep getting detected over and over, say 1, 2, 3 times in a row, 120% they're cheating type of thing. So let's see if we can spawn in the menu now and what it looks like. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's right. I'm not even possessing. Possess. And there shouldn't be any input actually, so I shouldn't be able to move or anything, which is what I want. I just want to be able to see the character and the MetaHuman clothing change. What the fuck's going on here? Access none here. So games can fully protect variables that are stored in the server side, but can't fully protect stuff that is in the client side. Not in San Andreas Multiplayer. There is literally zero server side and client side logic. Like there is no. It's a hacker's heaven, bro. I'm telling you, 80% of players hack or have hacked at least. Like even I've hacked at one stage, bro. Gotten banned, just like spawned into a server, started air braking around, and you know what I mean. Like even I've had a go at it, bro. Like. Okay. Interesting. See, this is my problem right now. This menu's a tag, but we're probably going to have to do it this way. Menu code. We'll just do it this way, for fuck's sakes. But how do we know which one they're going to spawn at? Hopefully this has got a detail. Auto receive input. Okay. Input priority. I don't know. I started learning C++ seriously yesterday. Is that your first language? Because I do not recommend it unless that you got no other choice. Yeah. How are you finding it? C++ is a very hard language to learn. It's even hard for me. Like, because from what I see, C++ works around classes and objects, and there's code all over the fucking place, and it's just hard on my fucking eyes, bro. I don't like C++, and I'm so happy about it. Let's look at some verse code. Wait, look, I'll show you verse code that's coming, which looks simple as. It looks like Lua. You know the language Lua? I learned Lua in about 2 hours. Wait, what is it? Verse, Unreal Engine 6. Unreal Engine 6, baby! Fuck GTA 6, bro. We got Unreal Engine 6. Alright. Yeah, don't panic, people. Yeah, Lua is one that Roblox uses, I think. It's a very simple, clean looking, it's very one line type of shit. Like in one line of Lua, to do one line of, like, let's say about 10 lines of code in Pawn is like 1 line in Lua. It's very clean, very lightweight, and that's what Verse is. Oh, this is Unreal Engine themselves talking about it. Are you going to show us some code? Well, let's just watch a 4-minute clip and see what Unreal Engine themselves want to say about it. Like, the Verse coming is a really good thing, okay? It's going to allow us to now use code, which is going to be more efficient. It's going to be 10 times easier to learn than C++. And not only that, if you subscribe to this channel, you're gonna fucking be learning it real quick. Because I'm instantaneously converting to Verse. As soon as Unreal Engine comes in and I've got my hands on it, and we're able to use Verse fully, I'm converting straight over to Verse. You will never see a Blueprint node again on my stream. And that's a very good thing. That's going to make me learn quicker, get better,
I work on the
build
gameplay
more
architecture
efficient
in
stuff.
Unreal Engine.
Can you hear this,
I'm excited
guys?
to talk to you about the new gameplay framework for UE6,
Is that not
which begins with Verse. Now, Verse is a next-generation programming language purpose-built to power massive, persistent game worlds at scale. We originally released it 3 years ago in UEFN, where we could grow it to become the foundation for UE6. And Verse draws ideas from functional logic and imperative languages.
See, people are freaking out going, oh my God, now I've got to learn this programming language and Blueprints is not going to be a thing. For starters, they're going to be around as long as the old inputs have been around. They're still here. They got deprecated before Unreal Engine 5, I believe. And now we're at Unreal Engine 6 and you can still use them. So don't worry, you can still use Blueprint. There's also going to be conversion tools. So you can convert all your Blueprint into Unreal code. So technically what you could do is code in Blueprint and just convert it to Verse code for more efficiency.
Familiar to anyone who's worked in languages like C#.
But this is very, very C#.
Python before.
See what I said? That's why it's easy on my eyes. This is going to be good for these type of people. Let's just watch this. I'll stop.
To anyone who's worked in languages like C# or Python before.
Yes.
But it also has some unique features aimed at solving the complexity and scaling problems of modern game development, starting with this unique software transactional memory model, or STM. Now, all functions in Verse run as part of atomic transactions.
Look how clean that code is, bro.
Which can be rolled back and resimulated as needed. And this lets us do a lot of interesting things in our game's code.
If code's freaking you out, look.
And this lets us do a lot of interesting.
Let me try and see if I can explain some of this code. See, look, move entity, all right? This is the entity. This is the value of the entity. New transform, void. I'm yet to learn what that fucking means. Set global transform. So they're setting the transform. They're looking for anything that's overlapping. So if the hits is more than 0, this means there's an actual overlap. If E overlaps other than any objects, the entire move rolls back. It's see, this may look very hard, what's all this? What's this mean? You'll pick this up in time, okay? This is very simple coding structure, okay? Void is a variable that returns no value, I think. This has got something to do. We just never had void.
This lets us do a lot of interesting things in our game's code. So for example, to check if an object can be successfully moved in the world, we can simply set its position, then do our spatial queries to see if it's hitting anything.
Yeah.
If it is, we abandon the entire transaction, reverting the entire operation.
Do you know how much Blueprint nodes would be required to perform this action? And look, you've done it in fucking 3 lines of code, in an if statement.
And pretending the code never ran at all. Now, Verse's transactional memory model can also help us address another big problem in game development, building enormous worlds with larger player counts.
You can hear him,
Today,
right?
one of the big limiters to really building larger games comes down to server technology. Scaling a game to run on multiple game servers requires a fundamental rethinking of your entire game's architecture.
That's right. That's why multiplayer is fucking hard.
Software transactional
big
memory
games,
system
at
to
least.
Address this. So here's the idea. we take your existing single-threaded style verse game code, and then we distribute it
Like, for
across
instance, let me explain very simply why multiplayer is hard. Okay, with the weapon system, you know, you hold a weapon in the air, you shoot it, you can aim up and down, and that all works off the bat. As soon as you get that code working, it's working. But the second you throw the word multiplayer in, now need to do 2 to 3 times more work just to get the aiming up and down, which is the aim offset, to replicate on other people's computers. You understand? See why now, like a very simple weapon system that you can throw together, it works straight away, now needs to be replicated on multiple different and requires so much more development. So you've gone through, you know, like, so single players are very, very simple games to make, right?
Servers. When an object's needed in one server,
because it only needs to
runtime
work on everything works on the client. Like everything's designed to work as single player, but with multiplayer, you now need to replicate things. You now need to know what needs to be replicated and what doesn't need to be replicated and stuff like that. And an example of like a replication in an inventory system, the actual array, which has got the inventory slot data and amount and all that type of stuff needs to be replicated, but the max slot size does not need to be replicated.
Transaction migrates the object over to the server, and then reruns the transaction with the object now present. And this is all done in a way that retains the transactional consistency of the original program.
Oh.
And finally, with Verse, we wanted to make saving game data way simpler. So the Verse runtime can automatically synchronize and save any global state for the program, and then share it across all running instances of your game or an ecosystem.
Whoa.
And to the programmer, what this means is that setting up something like save state for a player is as simple as setting a single global map of player to save state. No more having to set up databases or coordinate schemas between your game and other backend services.
They've got their own saving system
without ever leaving Verse.
That's sick.
Now let's take a look at how Verse fits into the bigger UE6 gameplay architecture. So at the foundational level, we have the Verse runtime, along with all the UE systems that exist today, like rendering, chaos physics, meta sounds. With Verse, we're also introducing the Verse scene graph framework. Now, this is a modern game component framework with full support for prefab-style workflows and runtime composition. The scene graph has been designed to utilize all the power of the Verse language, including modeling the entire prefab data model through Verse's type system. Above this, every core system in the engine is exposed as concrete Verse objects. Each material, mesh, Niagara system that you author becomes a type
can't wait to
class
jump into
with a
this.
statically validatable API.
And I'm assuming once Unreal Engine Verse comes out, Unreal Engine 6 is going to be totally different to UEFN. UEFN will be more script-based gameplay, but I know that Verse is already used in Unreal Engine Fortnite thing to code gameplay mechanics.
Validate all of our data in a unified manner across the entire engine. For example, if you change a parameter in a particle system, you'll immediately know where in code needs to be updated to match.
Oh, nice.
And finally, we'll be introducing high-level frameworks for common game systems like characters, weapons, and vehicles. Now, building with these frameworks helps speed up development.
How many years I've been developing stuff? Since 2010.
Widely
so
across
16 years.
Ecosystems. So imagine grabbing a car from Fab, and instead of simply
been working with Unreal Engine since early 2023.
You get a fully working Verse
full-time. I decided to just go full-time
all
with
of your games.
So you got sick of these fucking asset
With the
flippers.
UE6 gameplay framework, we're envisioning a world where enormous amounts of code and content is being built
6'7".
between these projects.
I'm 37, so I don't know what that means.
Compatibility guarantees to help the ecosystem grow sustainably.
I don't even want to learn what it means. I'm sick of trying to Google and this shit. Like all these new fucking things. Very nice. Very nice. Epic just revealed Unreal Engine 6 will remove blueprints. Is it? See, this guy is actually legitimate, I believe.
Epic Games just gave us our first real look at Unreal Engine 6. We're talking a brand new programming language, AI tools built right in, and content that can travel between games. If you're an indie dev or just getting started,
oh bro, man,
with
just what you inherit by learning Verse is all the performance that you're gonna now gain. Like, because blueprints are essentially being converted into C++. It's like a layer on top of the C++, where you're now coding in visual format, and then it converts into C++, and that's where you lose optimization. That's why multiplayer games cannot run on blueprints. They need to run on C++. Have you made a lot of money from games? No, no, have not made a cent from many games. And this prison game that I'm working on is I'm not going to sell it. It's my first game. I'm just trying to. The reason why I'm building that game is just to try and learn to actually put a game, to put a full game together. So what I really want to get to is the multiplayer side of things, where I can create a server, get some test servers in, and people start playing my games, and I can work out. I can learn more replication from experience that way. That's mainly what I want to do, is learn how to put a game together. I've got another live stream series. It's called Character Prototyping. It's where, because I'm still learning, essentially. The character prototype is me working on a full character, creating my own weapon system, locomotion system, for experience, mainly. And I'm not trying to make a windfall or $1 million out of this game. It's going to be free to play. There'd be no revenue whatsoever. We might ask for some funding to construct all the legal side of things. Like in my country, I would need to, at the bare minimum, register a company and do profit and loss statements at the bare minimum. And then that's where we may ask for some Kickstarter funding, just to cover all those costs, and potentially some dedicated server costs, for 12 months maybe. You know what I mean? Like some base, But yeah, that's this is my first game. I've worked on a couple of other games, but this is after learning over time, I realized that the only type of multiplayer game that I'm going to be able to create is something as low level as this prison game. But let's watch this.
In this video, I'm going to break down all of the new major updates. Right now, Epic has been running 2 separate versions of Unreal.
Fuck yeah.
Unreal Engine 5, the engine most of us use to build games. And if you are just getting started with Unreal Engine, I'm an authorized Unreal Engine instructor, and I made a completely free Unreal Engine beginner course that will teach you the fundamentals. There's a link to that in the description of the video. An Unreal Engine editor for Fortnite, which Epic has been using as a live testing ground for new features. Unreal Engine 6 is what happens when those 2 things merge into one.
Well, it's mainly the verse.
It's less about prettier graphics and more about
my brother loves that game, bro.
Built and run. There are 3 big pillars to this, so let's go through each one. The first and probably most significant change is that Epic is moving to a new programming language called Verse. What makes it special is something called software transaction.
Went from rap versus to Unreal Engine versus.
Basically, in a normal multiplayer game, when something goes wrong, say 2 players interact and the server gets confused, you'd normally have to write a ton of custom code to handle that. But with Verse, the system automatically rolls back to a safe state and tries again.
Wow,
a built-in undo button for your game's logic. Epic is building this.
Can you
so your
tie
game
here,
code
please?
Can be written as if it's running on one machine.
What do you mean?
Scenes, it can automatically spread across multiple servers.
I can't
this means
type
massive multiplayer worlds
because it's a multi-chat on my screen.
Networking
I can't.
Yourself. Things like saving
but
progress,
like I can see your
states,
typing.
Managing a live game, stuff that usually requires back-end engineering experience becomes dramatically simpler. The catch, this is going to roll out gradually, and the existing blueprints and actors from Unreal Engine 5 will still work in the early versions of Unreal Engine 6.
I want to whisper you a message. What do you mean?
Appreciated. But Epic has promised conversion tools and a clear migration path that will allow you to convert your blueprints to this Verse coding language.
I've got a plugin on my recording software where I can see
Epic
all the chat
content,
combined.
Characters,
I can't
items,
type in it,
cosmetics to be portable between games. Like a skin you bought in one game could show up in another game entirely. They're starting with Fortnite cosmetics as the proof of concept. The idea is that Fortnite outfits could be used in your game, and outfits you create in your game could work inside Fortnite.
Whoa,
this is being built on open standards. Things like GLTF and USD, which are file formats that different engines and tools
auto
can
mod.
pull read.
It's banning my message for some reason.
Exist yet, Epic is going to
Oh
create
yeah, I think it
open
bans links and
specifications
shit.
that anyone can build against. So this signals that Epic is
It's
thinking about
Nightbot,
building an
I think.
ecosystem, not just
Nightbot.
an engine. And then the final section,
No
AI
links,
tools
yeah.
built right in.
Jump into
Unreal
Discord
Engine
and
6 will have an MCP
contact
server.
me on Discord or
That's
whatever.
basically a bridge that connects the engine to AI models like Claude, Gemini, and others. The idea is that instead
What
of doing
the fuck?
a bunch of repetitive manual work,
AI?
writing, setting up rigs, adjusting particle systems, you'll be able to use AI tools to handle a lot of that. Epic is also improving their own built-in assistant.
People are gonna be making games in fucking 7 days, bro. Look at this shit.
Epic Developer Assistant, which will be available to everyone by default.
Oh yeah, do
but they're also letting you bring
exclamation
your own
point
preferred
commands
AI
and you'll
models,
see all the commands.
So you're not locked into one thing. What they're not saying is that AI will make games for you. The framing is specifically about reducing tedious setup work. So you can
Yeah,
spend
I
more
hate
time
tedious
on the creative
shit.
stuff that actually matters.
That's the only
Internally
downside
at
with
Epic-
programming is the tedious stuff, and sometimes I just got to do it in parts.
They've already been using AI tools. for
Like
things
even
like
this
crash analysis,
MetaHuman, getting these male MetaHumans with the right clothing, right meshes was fucking tedious.
automated test generation, and code indexing.
It's 16
This tool is
assemblies.
available in Unreal Engine version 5.8, although it is
And that
flagged
was
as
just that
experimental.
run, minus the 13 other runs I've done before that to work out the best way to do it. I sent a friend request to send you messages. All right, no worries. 1 second, I should be able to see it here. And Antito? Yeah.
Experimental, so just keep that in mind. So, when is this actually coming? Right now, an Unreal Engine 6 development stream is already live on GitHub. You can see it, but it's not meant for actual use yet.
What?
Around the end of 2027, see it, but it's not meant
There's
to
a
be coming. Right now, an Unreal Engine 6 development stream is already live on GitHub.
No way. I'd love to see some fucking verse code, like Unreal Engine 6 GitHub. Unreal Engine 6 main. Fuck off. Oh man. Wait, I have to log in. Shit. Alright, wait. The fuck? One second. One second, guys. Just logging into GitHub. We're gonna fucking look at this in real time, live on stream. Let me just. I just gotta go to here. 1 second. One second. All right. All right. Now I should be able to go to. Hopefully I can now. Yeah, I've actually got Unreal Engine access. As you can see, Unreal Engine source code. Wait, what? Where's the Unreal Engine 6 branch, maybe? What? Okay, so there's no Unreal Engine 6 here. Unreal Engine 6. Hopefully that searches everything. Okay.
You can see it, but it's not meant for actual use yet. Around the end of 2027, Unreal Engine 6 is going to be in early access.
Nice.
And then around in 2028 or 2029, 12 to 18 months after early access, Unreal Engine 6 is going to fully release. So we're around 2 to 3 years away from a stable release. They said transitioning your project from Unreal Engine version 5 to Unreal Engine 6 will be essentially the same as how it was when you transferred your project between Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 5. The base features of Unreal Engine 6 will have everything that Unreal Engine 5 has, apart from the Cascade particle system. In the meantime, Epic is continuing development
because
for
they
Unreal Engine
deprecated
5.
that with the
They've shipped up to Unreal Engine 5.8. They said this is going to probably be the final version of Unreal Engine 5, although they are reserving the option for Unreal Engine 5.9 if needed. So there's no reason to stop what you're doing. So what should you do right now? This is
good, man. I don't have time to run Discords and that.
Unreal Engine 6 is still years into the future, and they are going to be making tools to migrate what you have. If you're an indie dev mid-project, I still wouldn't let this distract you. I'd still finish my game on Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
Epic has explicitly said
it would actually make sense to not convert to Unreal Engine 6 until there's a proper stable version, and that may not be the first or second stable version. So it's going to be years before this stuff we actually convert,
so you won't be
convert over.
an old version.
So most people will finish their game in Unreal Engine 5 before it even comes out, or even just there'd be no point to convert over. I don't know. Maybe Unreal Engine 5 will, in some reasons, be better than Unreal Engine 6. I don't know.
I'm an authorized Unreal Engine instructor.
All I know is going to be fucking so much better, bro. I just, that's what I sort of was going to go with Godot with, because there's a scripting language. I thought, yeah, the best thing is to dive straight into a scripting language. That's not like full fucking complex and hard on the eyes type of thing, and easy to learn type of thing. But now we've got it with Unreal Engine.
Get into that in the description of the video.
Which would make it 10 times better than Unity anyway.
6 is shaping up.
But Unity is 2D games. Because from what I understand and what I've learned, is that Unity is good at making 2D games and dog shit at making 3D games. And it's the opposite for Unreal Engine. In Unreal Engine, it's good at making 3D games and impossible to make 2D games in Unreal Engine. It's just the engine is not designed to do that. But Unity is mainly for 2D, I believe. It started with 2D at least, and extended into 3D maybe. But yeah, there we go. Let's jump into this nonsense. Let's just do this one. Where is it? Here. See, the problem is I'm not going to spawn here, which is where I want to spawn. So then I might have to only have one of these. But how about the players spawning on top of each other? Fuck. See, that's the thing that we had in San Andreas Multiplayer, which was very handy, and it was called virtual worlds. So what I'd do is I'd spawn you in a virtual world, and that virtual world number would just be your player ID, which will be unique to you, and you're therefore spawning your own world. So every single player could be in this menu, 24 different players and 24 different virtual worlds, and they can't see each other. But I don't know how to do that in Unreal Engine. So anyway, let's just see what happens when I do this. We're going to need a menu controller potentially, just so, yeah, we're just going to do that. BP menu controller. We can get rid of that nonsense. Shit, I don't know how I'm going to... Fuck, okay. Menu controller. Let's get rid of that shit. That shit. Look, I'm going to spawn in the cells. For fuck's sakes. But that's about how I want the menu character. So that's good. Okay. So now we need to figure that out. So, I mean, theoretically, what's going to happen if I, instead of that position should be identical to that position. 420. Oh shit, okay. Oh, because that's there, okay. So what if I go like this? So if this centers itself like that, okay. Okay, we're just going to do that. See you later, every player start. Oopsie daisies. Fuck. Now I'm going to have to remove it from here. This is going to fuck a lot of shit up. See, I have to restructure this. I have to spawn them other than player starts, which would be this one. Maybe if I copy that, delete it, save it, get one in so it starts counting from 0 again. Paste, bang. $180, bang. Okay. So now is that even centered, bro? Yep. That's looking good. It's just fucked up. Okay, so we need to think about this whole thing. So that's what I want. I want this, and then I want like a menu where you can change your gender. Like, okay, the mouse. That's what I got to do here. Okay. Menu controller. This is where I need to make a new UI. This one's just going to be a standalone. This is all modularized and widget switching logic. User interface, widget blueprints, user blueprint, widget blueprints, menu. Interesting. Pause. Widget blueprint, menu. Let's just put a canvas for now. We'll have buttons and stuff in it, but let's just get something going. In the controller, we can... Oh yeah, it's possessed, okay. Just create the widget. Widget blueprint menu. Self. I'd have to unpossess the... Oh, fuck, I'd have to unpossess the controller. Okay, well, this is just how we're going to do it. I mean, we're going to have to close it. So we'll go menu, UI. Add to the viewports. And then set mouse, set show mouse cursor. Import mode. Game, no, UI only. UI only of the self, and the focus widget to focus is that. Okay, so now that's good. I want to try and rebuild this fucking level, bro. That's stressing me out. That this this blurriness. What the fuck, bro? Let's get rid of that. Yeah, okay, that's what we need. Let's just quickly build those levels. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Shout out to the one watching on Twitch. How long are we going for? An hour and 45 minutes, not bad. So all I want is just to be able to just spawn in the main menu, and then I can determine all that logic. We've got to rebuild their entire character system and spawning logic, and but this is where you start. You start right, bang, there. And fucking hell, I don't know. You know what I could do? I mean, there's literally only going to be there for 24 stacked. I'm thinking of stacking 24 of these on top of each other. And depending on what your index is, determines on which one you go to. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, is there virtual world logic in fucking... Let's just ask Google or something. Is there virtual world logic in Unreal Engine 5 like there is in San Andreas Multiplayer porn coding? AI reckons, yes, you can achieve virtual world logic. Get fucked. But the approach differs significantly from SAMP's porn scripting. In porn, you assign a player to an integer virtual world ID, that's right, and the engine handles separating them. In Unreal Engine, you use a combination of level streaming, actor hidden in-game, or dedicated server instances to achieve the same result. Okay. Level streaming, the traditional virtual world. You can load different dimensions or virtual worlds into the same map. So a virtual world is like it's the same map, but you're in your own little virtual world, essentially. In the same map. Okay. Level streaming. How it works. You create your virtual world as separate sublevels. Normal world and an interior world. Okay. In your player controller or game mode, you use the load stream level. Interesting. That's pretty much how you would have to do it. Like stream a brand new level for them at a certain position, and all you'd need is like 24 different positions for 24, like a max possibility of 24 different players. Okay. Net cull distance, radius based instances. If your goal is to have multiple players in the same physical space but on different teams or instances, like overlapping private safe zones, you can dynamically adjust active visibility and collision via networking. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's all it would take. Is to just, the visibility and the collision, because then they would essentially not collide or see each other. Oh, yeah, you're using the actual networking framework. Okay. Dedicated server instances. Okay. For large-scale separation, entering an entirely different instance dungeon. Unreal developers typically run dedicated server instances. Fuck that. Okay. How to transition from SAMP point of view. Instead of coding flat procedural scripts, use blueprints. If you want to replicate something like Pawn's set player virtual world, you will utilize a custom event graph that fires a switch has authority node, making sure only the server makes changes, then calls the remote procedure calls to update the client's visibility and active level. Okay. That actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, oops, wrong. Skis. Whoops, skis. Not that. Oh, shit. Oh, that's the mesh and capture component. Ah, interesting. Fuck. Yeah, it'd just have to be that. The mesh is visible. The body is visible. This. Okay. It will just have to, I'm assuming, change the collision of that. So if I modify this and set the preset to a no collision, and then go like this and to the body and the face and the clothing, and just hide those. Theoretically, I should be able to spawn there and not collide with that character. Yeah, that's how it would work. And because that stuff would need to be replicated, I think it would just work because it's client side sort of thing. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. But that fucking blurry chart, man, why is it blurry? All right, then I can just click, so I can change his hairstyle. Maybe he's moving around too much, I think. Yeah, that's better for a menu. So then you can just be like, there'll be a button here, button here. You can change your race, change your gender, and then you can change your hair, change your facial. The lighting isn't really, something's wrong with the lighting. But that's what I've got to do. And then once I've selected my character, then I spawn accordingly. Like if he's an inmate, I'll spawn into the thing. And this is where you can change from an inmate to a CO and that. But I think that's good. Nothing's happening. So none of this code's getting executed. I'm in a totally different controller. And then what I'd have to do, can you swap controllers? Can you swap? Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, it's an actual. Can you swap controllers? Yeah, you can. Player controllers. You generally do not swap the play controller itself during runtime. Instead, the controller persists while persists while the swap the possessed pawn. Ah, switch to import. Okay. Oh fuck. So we have to use the same controller. I just have to code all that logic into that controller, and then we just swap out the character. So you spawn here, same controller. This is where you modify, edit your character, select your hair type, your facial hair. You can't really change clothes at the moment. And then I'm thinking about maybe face tattoos, stuff like that. Maybe some bandanas. You know, we can have like blue and red bandanas. Like, so you can have accessories, you can have glasses and all that type of stuff. So that's eventually the way it's going to work. You're going to be able to, so you'll be able to choose like a preset character, but still look unique in a way. You'll have your own hairstyle, your own accessories, your own facial hair. And then, you know, this guy can spawn as an inmate, and then he can come back to here and then respawn as a CO and then keep switching that way. So this is where you first spawn, you select your character, everything's ready to go. Bang, as soon as you click spawn here, you'll spawn down into the level. So that's the idea for that. But that's what I'm thinking is pretty good. Is anything not unloaded? All the blueprints are loaded, okay. I should put a draw distance on a lot of those blueprints. What's this? That's... Okay, this needs to move up a little bit more. Heaps more. Just so that's not loaded, because the level instance is still loaded in. Oh, shit. Right near the top. Okay, there we go. Everything should be unloaded now. Just instead of the blueprints. But see, if I go like this, put a draw distance on it. So there is no draw distance. 5,000. No, didn't want to disappear. Okay. Desired max. 5,000 units. Is it G? Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay, everything's unloaded. So now these ones are the COs. I mean these ones. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Draw. What did I do like this? Is that what I did? 5,000, 5,000, okay. So there's them. What are these? Prison bars. Maybe that's got a draw distance on it? No. Everything that's blueprint that's persistent. Okay. Draw distance. Oh, nice. Oh, yes. Everything's disappearing. These filing cabinets and stuff. So there's minimal stuff that needs to be... Yeah, okay. So everything's unloaded. So the whole level should be unloaded if you're up here. And then we just do some visibility and collision. logic type of stuff. Oh, what happened to the fucking... Why can't I see him? Delete. Why can't I see it? Interesting. Alright, let me just quickly just rebuild this. See if it will fix everything up. So, that's right, G maybe? There we go, that's the problem. Okay, the lighting's all messed up for some reason. We'll quickly build that, but that's what I need to do. I just need to like restructure the controller to, you know, to handle, you know, just spawning here, and then use the controller as well to respawn new stuff in the game through the game mode from the server on the controller to the game mode. The game mode handles all that stuff. And then I've got to fix this blurry chart, and then I just need some simple UI to be able to change different hairstyles and that. What I need to do is I need to create a data table with all the, that's what I'll do next. I'll create a data table. It's 1 o'clock nearly. We didn't really get much done in these 2 hours. I've just really just been thinking about it mostly. But that's what I've got to do. I've just got to restructure the whole controller, restructure build the characters. I need to make a data table to put all the MetaHuman clothing into a data table. So when I switch between characters inside this menu, I can run it on the construction script on a data table. So I can use the exact same blueprint menu character and just change the actual body mesh and the hair mesh, face mesh, all that type of stuff accordingly. And then that data, whatever you choose, then gets transferred over to the new character, and you'll spawn with the exact same clothing and all that type of stuff. So that's how it's going to work. Fairly simple logic. So what's happening is there's literally one player start, everybody spawns here, but they spawn in a way where they can only see themselves and they cannot collide with other players. I could probably remove the physics on the character, and then we could even remove the collision. But yeah, we'll just wait for this to... But yeah, what do you guys reckon about the verse code? I can't wait, man. Oh, I'm actually a little bit bummed out that it's going to take until the end of next year. But yeah, that's the idea. MetaHuman characters. We've got 8 different characters right now. There's going to be 8 different females, and then there's going to be I need 2 different for each NPC, like the commissary NPC and the inmate worker. I need male and female versions of them. They're going to be different characters. And then I need 1 or 2 nurses, so I can switch it out so there's a different nurse every now and then. It's just a random nurse with different clothing. And then we'll have all of our NPCs. We'll have all the clothing. Everyone's got their clothing. They can switch out their clothing, all this type of stuff, and it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm thinking about, because it's now modularized like this, we could actually, maybe you can get your hands on a CO uniform, right? And then put the CO uniform and then bang, gain access like you're a CO. And they wouldn't be able to work it out unless there's like, you know, until they actually look into you or something, and then they can find out that you're an actual imposter or something. So all these things can be possible with these clothing logic. But you can't really change clothes at the moment. By the time the game is out, I'm going to make it so you can have different variations of clothing. So you can change your pants and all that type of stuff. How long have we gone for? 2 hours exactly. Just want to build this, and then I'm probably going to stop the stream. We're going for 2 hours, getting a little bit bored. It's not bored, just it's 1 o'clock. I need to do something, and then yeah, I just need to restructure the controller to handle the new spawning logic. And then you literally choose your class, your race, everything, your character, your hairstyle, everything all gets changed here. And then you spawn on the map accordingly. And all I have to do is spawn you at the actual trigger instead of spawning you at a player start. I'm hoping because once you spawn here, theoretically you can teleport other places, so you don't need to an actual player start to spawn there. But there's that. The lighting's fucking, something's wrong with this lighting. Maybe I can get a spotlight and put it here so there's better lighting. Nah. Okay, so that's what it's going to be. Just a menu like that. Bang, bang, bang. Select, select, select. Maybe you can choose which color. Like, I'm thinking about arrows here. So then you can change your hairstyle. Then arrows here so you can change your beard. And maybe arrows here so you can change your class. Maybe up here you change your gender so you can switch from male to female. But the way it's going to work is you can either choose to run a female prison or a male prison. So if it's a female prison, you need to have, that's something. Yeah, you're going to have to, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have like a male here and a female there. So then they switch. So there'll be 2 characters. There'll be a male and a female version. And if it's a female prison, you can only select the females as an inmate. But if you switch over to CO, then you can choose male or female. So I have to do all that type of logic as well. It's going to take a little bit of just a little bit of rebuilding and stuff. Like, I could keep going, but I've been going for 2 hours. That's probably where I'm going to leave this stream. But hopefully I should be able to get this all done. What I'll do is I'll make sure I can get it all ready to go, and then I'll do the majority of the coding tomorrow once I know what everything's gonna go. Unless something happens and it's better off me just not streaming tomorrow. But I should be able to stream tomorrow. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream, and we'll see you in the next one. If you want to go and check out, this is the 11th stream for the prison game. If you want to go check out the last 10 streams, you can. But if you want to go check out the old build, and you know all the stuff we got done with that, go check out the Game Dev and Chill streams. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night. Anyway, guys, we'll see you in the next stream. Peace.